When it comes to business-related matters in Phoenix, Arizona, I'm able to help people in two ways. One is in terms of business formation. I'm able to help people set up their limited liability companies, partnerships, corporations, etc. On the other hand, I'm able to help them in litigation, whether it be on the plaintiff's side or the defendant's side. If they have a matter involving a breach of contract, a breach of an employment term, a breach of a fiduciary duty, any sort of negotiation involving a transactional matter, whether it be a buy-sell agreement or the purchase of a business or the sale of a business, I'm able to help them in that regard as well. So you get full service when it comes to business-related matters in my office. My typical business litigation client in Phoenix is the mom-and-pop shop who started out as sole proprietors. They had a good idea. They went with the idea. They tried to move it forward. They've gotten to the point where they need to expand, and now they want the liability protection and the benefits afforded to them by setting up a corporation or a limited liability company. The other client that typically retains me on a business litigation matter is a company that's already been formed, that is very successful, that has entered into a contract with a vendor, another party for any other reason, and now the contract is being breached or the other side is not performing. I then attempt to resolve any issues between the two parties, and if we can't resolve the matters, then we litigate. Phoenix, Arizona is a very large metropolitan area. It continues to grow. People continue to move here from other parts of the country. Many of those people have a very good business spirit. They have an entrepreneurial spirit. They want to set up their own companies, but oftentimes they don't know how to do it. Sometimes they try on their own and they fail for various reasons. What I'm able to do is help these folks set up their companies the right way, review whatever documentation they have, discuss with them their ideas and plans for growth in the future, and try to guide them in the right direction to ensure that they are not exposing themselves to any problems, whether it be contractually, from a liability standpoint, or from a legal standpoint. It's very important for somebody like that to come to me first, sit down and discuss with me what their plans are, what they would like to do with their company, and I can attempt to guide them and send them in the right direction. If a client comes to me very early on, sure, they're going to have to spend some money to sit down and talk with me, but it's money well spent. Often I will see a client after I've met with him or her, and the client will tell me, "Hey, Jeff, thanks very much for sitting down and talking with us because we were able to understand better what we were getting into. We were able to head off this problem when we saw it coming. Had we not met with you, we wouldn't have seen this thing coming. It would have been much more expensive for us." And that is true. People do not understand the complexities of running a business or the importance of maintaining corporate formalities or observing the terms under a contract. It's very important to get it right when you're starting a business, because if you try to fix a problem after it occurs, it can be much more expensive than dealing with it up front before it becomes an issue. What happens often is a client will come to me after they get into trouble. Either a regulatory agency from the state or local government will come to them and say, "Hey, you are violating a statute, you are violating a local ordinance. We're either going to shut you down, we're going to fine you, or we want you to make changes to your business that might be expensive." They will come to me, I will review the statutes with them, determine whether or not they are in compliance, and either fight for them or assist them in doing the right thing and ensuring that they are in compliance with the law. My objective is to always make sure that the client is taken care of and protected. Contracts are very complicated, particularly when we're dealing with a transactional matter, the sale of a business, the purchase of a business, the purchase of land, whatever it might be. The typical contract I encounter in those situations is around 40 pages, 40, 50 pages, plus exhibits, hundreds of clauses involved. It's very difficult for the average person to read through a contract and understand what it is he or she is reading, let alone understanding what liabilities they are taking on by entering into these contracts. Too often, I get in the game after the fact, and I'm only able to advise them as to what they can try and do to make sure that the other side is not breaching the contract, or to try and work something out for them so that they can extract themselves from the contract without exposing themselves to too much liability. The common mistake that I see when people set up an LLC or a corporation is that they believe the corporation or the LLC is an alter ego of themselves. In other words, they are trying to obtain the personal liability protection that an LLC or corporation affords them, but they treat the company as if it's their own pet project. They don't maintain corporate formalities. They skip out on deals. They breach contracts. They don't fund the company properly. They do things outside of the corporate governance that is allowed either under the Articles of Organization, the operating agreement, the bylaws, or Arizona Corporations Law. One of the things I enjoy most about practicing business litigation is that I'm able to try and fix something. In other areas of my practice, I can't fix something. I'm able to do what I can to help the client get back to where he or she was before. But in a business litigation setting, I am able to try and fix a problem and get the client what he or she is entitled to rightfully, whether by law or by contract. I'm able to work with the clients intimately, get into their business, and try and fix things. It allows me to be a fixer, and I enjoy doing that. My clients can easily contact me at a moment's notice. I pick up the phone. I talk to my clients all the time. That is not a problem for me. I don't hide from my clients. It is a sense of peace of mind, in my belief, to have an attorney in your corner. The old saying goes, you need a doctor and you need a lawyer in your family, or somebody who's close to you who can help you in that regard. If you have a lawyer in your corner that you can call any time with a question, that is peace of mind for the client.